All right, today is Wednesday, October 5th. So we're going to do another episode of Weekly Market Stats. It's also the first week of the month. So we'll be looking at the September numbers as well, how they compare to the rest of the year. And I've updated my slides, added a couple more features. So stay tuned so you can see about those as well. All right, so let's jump right into it. Let's look at active homes on the market. So we're going to look first at the WFR MLS, which stands for Washington Wasatch Front, not Washington, Wasatch Front Regional MLS. So this is all of Utah. There is a Washington County MLS, so down near St. George, but they do a lot of times agents will not only post homes in that MLS, but also in the Wasatch Front Regional, and also with Park City. Park City has their own. So keep in mind that that's the largest MLS here in Utah, and majority of homes are on it. So last week we had about 9,951 homes active on the market, and today we have 10,017. So that has increased about 0.66%. And now let's talk about this one. So this is four counties. This is Salt Lake, Utah, Weber, and Davis counties, the four largest counties in Utah, where a majority of Utahns live. So also what I did to keep it more relevant to a majority of home buyers, I have kept the home price under 1.5 million. So we're kind of eliminating those. I know the median home price, automatically kind of eliminates those outliers, but I still wanted to condense it and make it a little more relative to most home buyers. So last week on September 28th, we had 6,449, and today we have 6,504, or an increase of 0.85% on that one. So let's look at the median listing price. So these are homes that are currently on the market again. Last week, 575,000 for all of Utah, with no change this week. And last week, of those four major counties, 549,900, and also no change. So that's very interesting. So no change in a majority of active homes on the market at this point. So okay, median days on market. We did see some change here. I mean, for all of Utah, we're getting up there. 51 days last week, and this week we're sitting at 52. So we're adding days to days on market. That's not good. We are going into a slower time of the year, right? It is fall, but we still have quite a few homes sitting when we should be seeing more stuff sell. So, okay, those four major counties in less than 1.5 million. Last week was 44 days, and today is 47 days, an increase of almost 7%. So that one's creeping up there. It's almost becoming in line with the larger market as a whole. So weekly home sales. This is a new stat I added. I mentioned it last week, and I wanted to add it. So those other stats are kind of real time, right? And these ones we have to go back in time to actually view. So I'm doing weeks, kind of just capturing a full week at a time. So if we go 2 weeks back, there was a total of 709 homes sold. And last week, there was 681 homes. So there was a decrease in about 4% in the number of homes that sold all across Utah. And if we look at the sold price, so that's something interesting to look at as well, right? Remember the active home price, homes still sitting on the market. Let's jump back to that. I should put it closer together. So right here. So all across Utah, the average active home on the market, I guess the median home price is 575,000, and yet the ones that sold, well, let's take a look what it was just last week. 487,845. So that's pretty significant. And here's the other thing that's interesting. So 2 weeks ago is 475,000, and this last week 487,845. Homes actually went up week over week by almost 7%, 6.8%. So that's an interesting figure right there. Median days on market. So of these sold homes 2 weeks ago, they were sitting for about 30 days, and then just this last week, they added 5 days, and all the homes that sold were sitting for about 35 days. Okay, let's look at those four major counties. 549 homes sold 2 weeks ago. Last week, 510. So drop up 7.1%. Sales price, 475,000 2 weeks ago, and last week, 870,422. So increase of 2.6%. Again, increase. That's really astonishing, right? We're seeing home prices go up week over week for those uh, sold homes. And days on market, 27 up to 31. So increase of almost 15 days for those closed homes. Okay, let's jump over now to our monthly stats. These ones are right on the MLS. So here we go. Here's a nice chart. Everybody loves a good chart, right? This is number of residential listings entered. So people just went on the MLS, entered a new listing. You can see we were actually doing quite well. It's where the blue line, that's 2022. And, at quite a few points, we had more listings than, let's see, 2019 for the beginning part. 2020, of course, we had COVID. That dropped down after COVID really set in. And then, let's see, right in July, we were kind of on pace with all the other years. And since then, we've fallen short. We've fallen quite short here last month. All right, let's jump down to active listings. So these are active listings sitting on the market, like we just saw. All across the market, we're sitting at, what was it, 51 days? So as homes are sitting, we've kind of plateaued up here with right around 10,000 homes active on the market. Average number of active residential listings per day. So again, we're right around that 10,000 mark. Most other years are different, right? They kind of come up during the summer and then go down. We're plateauing because our average days on market is so high. I guess it would be interesting to see what, October, November, December, and actually, okay, yeah, it should just be September. I guess it already includes October. We're only a few days in. That's kind of weird. Um, so yeah, we're kind of on par with these other previous years. The COVID years just really didn't have active listings, right? 2020 is the yellow one, and 2021 really, really dropped off as everybody was buying homes. We just didn't have much supply sitting on the market. So under contract, we're the blue one. Look at this. We're just dropping off. Like we just don't have many homes under contract. This is year over year compared to 2021 to 2022. So while we had so many more active homes than we did last year, stuff just isn't going under contract like it did. Here you go. This is not just last year, but the last 5 years. So we are below average on all those. Active no show. So these are homes that were on the market and pulled off. That they haven't been canceled. They've just been withdrawn, hopefully temporarily. Maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't. So last year, nobody needed to pull any homes off. They were just selling so quickly, where this year, homes are being pulled off. Maybe they're making some changes, painting, updating the homes. Maybe the seller's just getting cold feet and just doesn't want to sell anymore because it's sitting so long. But that number just keeps climbing. That's compared to all 5 years here. Sold listings, total number of sold listings. So while our active number is sitting up at 10,000, way higher than it has been the last 2 years, our number of sold listings is way down. Right? Look where we are in July. I think it was kind of sticker shock right when the interest rates set in. Right? Everybody's like, what? 5% interest. Now we're up to 6.5, pushing 7. And yeah, we have seen there was a little spike there in August, and we're back down to September. So total number of sold homes lower than we've been, the previous 4 years. Back on the market. So homes, like I said, that were pulled off on that active no show are coming back to the market, but really not too many. Not, I mean, there's been a whole bunch pulled off, and I'm surprised there's not more coming back to the market. So just ignore October. We're only a few days into it, so we can just ignore that. So right now for the month of September, and these numbers should be finalized, the median sold price is $490,000. So we had a total of about 3,300, almost 3,400, so 3,378 homes actually sold last month. And if we look at what that was back in August, so from August to September, we had a drop of just $10,000, and that was a drop of about 2%. So 2% drop month over month. If we look at the high, we did hit the high for the year in May when home values, the median sold price for homes was 540,000. Now we're sitting at that 490. That's a drop of 9.3%. So homes have come down a little over 9% since that high. And if we look year over year, so last year at September, end of September, those median sold price were 461,000. Again, we're at 490, so we're still above that. So we're still up year over year, 6.3%. So while everybody's freaking out, if you were to buy a home this time last year, it still would have been, on average, 6.3% cheaper. So something to consider as we're looking at the real estate market. But yeah, things have come down, roughly 10%, 9.3% since the high back in May. And I'd be great, if I had a good way to look it up. This is just sold prices. I would like to see what sold was versus listing price, because things were listed pretty high, February, March, April of this year, even May and June, right? And even those homes that weren't able to sell, they were hoping, shooting for the moon. I'd be curious how much we saw those drop. So, I mean, it does have some of those figures on here where it talks about median sold price versus list, and things were just selling quite a bit higher. In June, looks like we ended up, this is April, May, June. So in April, things were selling for 104% of their list price. And in September, they're only selling for 95% of the list price. So people are still listing a little bit higher at, on median, on average, 517,000 when it's selling for 490. So something to keep in mind. So stay with me. I'm going to keep these coming, and we can just track the markets. Hopefully find a good time for you to buy. I'd be curious to see what happens when interest rates start to drop. Next year's an election year, so the Fed is going to drop those interest rates fairly quickly, and our buyers are just going to rush back into the market if interest rates do come down. So that's what we'll have to find out. So thanks for bearing with me, and be sure to like, subscribe. I'm going to send these out once a week. It'd be good to get notified, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.